Hello everybody, welcome to another day of Cosmoteer. Today we're going to be looking at a ship that has been gone through a lot of work. And with a lot of work, it is 50 crew members of pure pain. What I mean by this is I have asked, and I'm going to ask again here in this particular live stream, is have you or can you build a ship that's 50 crew or less with the same amount of cost as this ship right here, and make sure that it doesn't have anything else except for disruptors and lasers as weaponry, and be able to beat this ship in a 2 versus 3 battle. Now I know I've put it out there before, and I've asked for people to build one, and I haven't had anybody yet be able to build another ship for the same cost or less, which is 356,050 crew, to be able to beat this ship in a 1v1 AI battle in 2 versus 3. And the main reason why I'm putting this ship out there like that, because this ship, when you play it in game, or people that have actually taken it, I've had comments where this ship is very, very strong and powerful to be able to beat other ships in the same combat sense. Like if you were to put mining lasers on, or you put deck cannons or railguns or something like that, of course you could beat this ship. But the main point of this ship was to be at a starter mid-game, be able to fly around and be able to be just energy weapons and to be able to attack from all different angles and protect it from all different angles, but still only be 50 crew, have heavy armaments, and do tons and tons of damage. Now I know people have tried to build a different bunch of ships, and I've also tried to build a bunch of different ships. This ship I always keep coming back to. The armor placement, as you can see, is placed in a specific way where they take off both sides before they actually go to the front. It is also not super fast, but it's fast enough for what is needed for in-game. As a combat ship, it's a very, very strong ship. You can see right here, this one, they're facing each other. But paint-wise, paint design, still pretty... I love what Wholesale has done here. It's a pretty interesting, neat design. Simple paint, but very, very nice. It's been worked on a lot from me, Hoshel, and a bunch of other people have gone back and forth, done different iterations, different versions of it. And you can see that it's armaments-wise, it just keeps on going, keeps on giving. So can you handle 50 crew of pure pain? That is one of the things I would always want to ask. Alright, let's go ahead, and I know somebody put in a comment up, Sala, what's this stream going to be about? 50-person crew face-offs. That is something I also wanted to go ahead and put in. I love that idea. I know that this one's a mining laser. Once you put in mining lasers, let's go ahead and re-rotate this back to normal orientation. This one is also 50 crew, but you can see right here it's got mining lasers on it. It's also, I think it costs more too, by a lot. Over 200,000 more costing. And this one also can beat this ship with 50 crew, but then when you obviously are putting in more cost, build it out more, it can do a lot more damage, has more things on it, more armor, bigger ship, engine rooms, everything else on it, and also has point defenses. This ship has been proven to play in the actual gameplay, to be able to do a lot of damage and work very, very well. And then the other ship that we just built recently that could also beat this 50 crew ship with mining lasers, because once you put in mining lasers, then you can obviously rip this other ship apart, is the mining laser ships, which is these space dwarfs. I'm loving the name space dwarfs. So if you take a space dwarf and you take one that's just 40 crew, but you can see this one also costs 485,000, and you face this against this one right here, this 50 crew ship. 40 crew can also beat a 50 crew ship, but when you're taking cost into effect as well, 100,000 more credits, the ship can do a lot more damage because it's either got more armaments on it, it's got more armor, All different things play into effect. Double the engine rooms, you got more movement. Movement plays a huge effect in this game for those that are new or just coming in and watching this particular channel. In Cosmoteer, movement is key for doing combat damage, getting into position, and hitting from specific angles. Now you can see right here, this 50 crew ship with just disruptors and heavy lasers is still doing a good amount of damage to this other ship. Because the way the AI has this set up, it literally is trying to shoot at these heavy shields. So layer stacking of shields is important. So both of these ships you can see right here, heavy shield, but you can see right here the AI, because there's just a little too much armor right here, I actually got to rip off a little bit more armor depending on where your angles are. Now it's shooting down the middle, where this ship right here, instead of shooting toward this heavy shield, is now actually aiming toward the actual reactor itself, and the AI is going to blow up the reactor, which will take out the ship. It's not what you want when it comes to combat ships. You want to take off both of the large shields first, kind of like how this ship did. Took off both of the large shields first before it targets down the middle. So that means that there just needs to be a tiny bit more armor down the middle here to prevent the AI from shooting at the actual large shields. Now this is not a fair case scenario because this ship does cost a lot more than this ship. We can even get less crew, 34 crew. I'm actually thinking this 34 crew I can actually beat this other ship too. But we're talking about mining lasers. Mining lasers are like the new deck cannons for energy weapons. Although I do wish that they would actually put something else besides mining lasers, like lasers or heavy laser armaments that you can be mounted on the top of your ship. That would be nice as well. I am sure the developer is still in the process of developing these things, and maybe eventually they will bring them out and put them out. Kind of nice. Nice, simple ship. I know I keep showcasing this one being destroyed, but when you play this ship right here and you play it in-game, you face it versus other in-game ships, this is a very, very strong, powerful ship. These mining laser ships are new iterations of what we're planning to play when we come to play No Pause Admiral on a Space Dwarf version. So that would be very, very interesting. I'm actually very excited to play with these mining lasers in a No Pause Admiral Engage to see just how effective they actually are. They don't seem like they would do a lot of damage because the mining lasers, you can see right here, it doesn't look like it does a lot of damage, but it does. You can see in a combat scenario, it doesn't do the nice and fancy what you're doing deck cannons and facing with deck cannons, but that is something I want to try out. In fact, these mining doors, I want to see how they face versus a ballisteria. I actually want to see how that does. So one of the ships that I always in the past and historically always face against is you come over here to Monolith. In Monolith you do combat, and for those that are still new or watching this, if you come over here and you take a ballisteria. Now a ballisteria has 100 crew, cost less, 394,000. But running into a ballisteria in the early game, when you're facing in-game, this was the first ship that caused me a ton of problems and a ton of challenges. It has, as you can see, tons of ballistics, lots and lots of cannons, deck cannons, 3 deck cannons. It's got missiles. It's even got EMP missile coming out from the back. It is a very, very slow ship, but it does devastating damage. If you were to run into 1 or 2 or even 3 of these ballisterias and you run into them, as you can see right here, they do so much damage you can rip off your ship. So my challenge was to build an energy-based ship with just disruptors and lasers that could beat a ballisteria, which is what this ship can do. As you see right here, this ship can still walk away. It sustains heavy damage, but it can walk away from a ballisteria. And I don't have any ballistics on this ship. I don't have any deck mounted. I don't have any ion beams or anything like that. But you can beat a ballisteria in a 1v1 AI battle. That is if you know you have at least a decent ship. If you want to test your ships, and you don't want to test it against another player ship, take the ballisteria Try to build a ship that costs the same amount or less or close to a blist area. Do it with less crew and fight an actual blist area. Because out of all the ships that I've seen in the same cost range, this ship in the front-to-front battle just does so much damage to your other ship with the same crown star. So basically, try to build a ship that's 400,000 credits or less. Get less than 100 crew and face over ship Listeria and see if you have a decent ship that can beat it. Because this is a very, very strong, powerful ship. Where this ship also can beat it with 50 crew or less, and I don't have any of the mounted actual jet cannons or anything else like that. So, very, very strong ship. I love this ship a lot. I'm trying to find, and why I'm doing this particular video is, can anybody build a ship like this and still beat this ship in a 2 versus 3 battle? That is the challenge that I'm announcing for people. Hopefully somebody can build it. I'm going to keep this one short today. We'll wrap it up. So if you enjoyed this content, please feel free to hit the like button. It's meant a ton. Helps to push out this content to other people, bring awareness to it. If you like, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, especially what you don't like so that I can improve, make better content. If you have not already, please feel free to please feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month. Check out what content I have. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. You all have a wonderful rest of your day.